All right. Hopefully everyone got to stretch their legs a little bit. I know that we're hours into the convention. I know I'm really tired. So I appreciate everyone that's here with us. And hopefully these breaks are kind of enough to get you a little bit of movement. So we're all not so stiff and creaky tomorrow morning. Um, The room today, it's filled with patients, researchers, clinicians, volunteers, and scientists. Whether you live with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, love someone who does, or are simply passionate about making a difference, you are in the right place. Today, we're focusing on something incredibly powerful, and we've sort of had this echoed throughout convention by the researchers. It's your voice. Not just the words that you speak, but the stories that you share, the awareness you raise, and the actions you inspire. In a world where CMT is still widely unknown, every conversation, social post, fundraiser, and personal story chips away at that silence. And together, the ripples that we make can turn into real change for funding, for research, and for a future where those living with CMT feel seen, supported, and successful. In today's session, Speaking Up for CMT, Turning Awareness into Action, you are going to hear from an amazing group of individuals who are using their unique voices, talents, and experiences to support the CMTRF's mission and uplift our community. From creative fundraising efforts to powerful storytelling and advocacy, these are people turning passion into progress, awareness into action. And we hope that their journeys will spark inspiration for your own. Let's get started. Joe Hogan has been a founding supporter of the CMT Research Foundation, and he never seems to miss an opportunity to genuinely share his story with his friends and his family. From host event to storyteller to personal fundraiser, Joe is a true ally for our community. His passion and persistence have inspired others to get involved, and we are grateful for the heart that he brings to the mission of finding treatments for CMT. Please welcome Joe Hogan.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice to be here. My first time, even though I've been I've been familiar with CMTRF since 2019, maybe even a little earlier. I'm not sure. And so I'm really grateful that I was able to make it from Los Angeles and to be here today and the weekend. First off, I just want to say there is a lot of grief in the world right now. There's a lot going on. And so there's a lot of things pulling our focus, and it's really easy to get caught up in that. I was in a session earlier today with Sophia Hilson, I think is her last name, and she spoke as a postdoctoral student of psychology about shame and grief. And I told her either she stole my notes or I stole hers. So I'll say that she stole mine somehow because she's younger than me. Anyway, I am a part-time actor. I was an actor many years ago, and I was struggling. I didn't really have health insurance because I wasn't making that much as an actor. And I didn't start my timer. Sorry, Chelsea. Anyway, I broke my leg the day I was working a job. I was taping a sitcom, Suddenly Susan, for that's how old I am. And I was determined to do the job no matter what. And so I walked on that leg that night. And, on the set, you had to walk back and forth across the set. And I ended up breaking the leg even further. I thought it was sprained. I thought I had a sprained ankle because I'd sprained it many times before. I was doing nothing. I was walking on the sidewalk and it snapped. That kind of ended my acting career because I needed health insurance and I needed to make some money and not be just a struggling actor. And so I got a job in corporate media, and I worked in that for many years. And then I had my leg amputated in 2018 after many years from that original break, problems, surgeries, broken ankles, broken bones, reconstruction that didn't take. So I had the leg amputated. It's been great since then. It was a perfect solution for me. But I went back to acting because now I have a gimmick. And so I did a short film a couple of last year. It's called The 5 Stages Until, and it's about a Black woman who loses her husband to cancer. I'm her husband, and how she comes to deal with that with her young adult daughter. She wanted to tell the story of a Black woman that wasn't an angry Black woman or a stereotypical trope. She wanted to show that grief affects all of us. And it's a very powerful little short film, and it'll be coming out at some point. But it had me thinking about grief and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, which I read in the 80s. She wrote a book in the 60s, late 60s. The 5 stages of grief: denial, anger. For me, anger, self-pity go together. Bargaining, depression. But for me, really, that is shame, and then acceptance. And I have CMT1A. It's inherited from my mother's maternal side of the family. My mom, my uncle, and my aunt all had it. My aunt had it worse. We thought it was Frederick's ataxia. I know Paula mentioned that. Her family thought the same thing. I was surprised to hear that it was discovered so early because my family didn't know about what they had. They knew I had something. I walked on my tiptoes as a toddler and a kid. I couldn't put my foot down. I was a little gay boy. So you can imagine what that did to my self-esteem, walking on my tiptoes, and how that was perceived by others. I just thought, because I combined my confused sexual orientation with what was happening to my body. I thought I was weak, I was lazy, it was a character development problem. There was no accommodation made for gym or any sort of physical activity. It was that I wasn't trying hard enough. So I grew up with a lot of self-esteem issues, clearly. And anyway, and on my dad's side, I was talking to Bob and Helen, Bob, a cardiologist, who my dad had hyperlipidemia and arterial sclerosis from a very young age and died at 58 while waiting for a heart transplant. And I inherited that gene as well. So thank you, Mom and Dad. And in 1986 or 87, I became HIV positive. And so I'm telling you all of that because I don't qualify probably for any drug trial ever. But I'm here today because I believe in the cause of CMTRF. And, I just want to talk about, in my 20s, I was in denial. I used drugs and alcohol and partied away my 20s. Starting in my mid to late 30s, I started having those broken bones and surgeries, amputation, I've had 3 joint replacements. And that has led to, and these stages all come and go, but to anger and self-pity. I can fall into that really easily. I used to not understand, and I said this yesterday, I didn't understand my mom and her side of the family. They all seemed a bit hysterical. They were angry. They were frustrated. And I just thought they had some psychological issues, and maybe they did. But I also know that their CMT really had a big impact on that. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't understand that my aunt's hands, as she used to scrub my ears when I was a little kid in the tub, and I would, as Susan said, I was afraid of those hands. And I didn't know that someday those would be my hands. I didn't know the casts and the surgeries that they had would become. My uncle had his leg amputated in his mid-50s the same way I did. I didn't understand their problems. I didn't understand what they were going through. Today, I do. Which brings me to acceptance and hope. It wasn't, all my life, all the doctors, I've gone to the specialist in LA that everybody loves, and he operates on many. He's a great guy and a smart guy, but he basically said to me, "How'd you ever let it get this bad?" And I held that resentment for a long time. And because I had done everything, whatever, everybody had told me there was nothing to be done. Uh, I went for bracing and all of that. Anyway, um, so I found the CMTRF in 2019 through my research of the CMTA and who had told me there was nothing to be done and all these other organizations. And the CMTRF was the first time I felt hope. And I'm 65 years old. I signed up for Medicare recently. I know that I'm over my time, but I know that uh, um, these studies probably, I don't know if I'll be alive or available for drug studies or for actual drug use. But I know that my cousins, my nephew, my cousins' kids, Alana Huber's son Carter. I know that these kids and the people I've met today, Amanda, who I just met, young people are going to benefit from this. And if they don't have to go through what many of us have talked about and to go through, I'm all in. And I sorry. Uh, it was a glorious day, the day I first connected with Susan Rudiker. And Peter, thank you as well. And all of the people with the CMTRF, because you've really given me a purpose and given me some hope. I fall into anger, self-pity, denial, shame all the time, but oftentimes I can come back to the hope. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. I just want all my speakers to know you talk. Don't worry about time. I'll make it up on my end. Okay. We want to hear your stories. Um, Gosh, Joe, great story. So many things I thought I knew about you, and there's always so much more to learn. And that's what I've also learned this weekend with CMT. Um, so our next speaker is going to be Jodi Balog. Jodi was one of the very first ambassadors to join the CMTRF ambassador. I'm sorry, was the very first member to join the CMTRF ambassadors. And for nearly 5 years, she's never stopped advocating, like once. Jodi utilizes her resources within her network to raise critical funds for the vital research being done for CMT. Her dedication has sparked greater awareness and momentum for our mission, and we are deeply grateful for the leadership and example that she brings to this community. Jodi is always eager to share her story, and I'm so happy that you guys all get to hear it today. Everybody, Jodi Balog.
Thank you. My name is Jodi Balog, and I have type 1A, and I'm honored to be here with you guys today. When I was first asked to give this speech, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I could say in just 5 minutes to capture what we do here at CMTRF. I could stand here and recite a list of numbers, how much I've raised, how many people I've reached on my social media, or the total donations that I have gathered from my workplace's foundation. But honestly, the numbers aren't what really matter. What really matters is why we do it. And for me, it all started with a simple question: how can I help? The question led me to social media, a place where I started talking about having CMT. At first, I was definitely a bit nervous. I wasn't sure if anyone would listen or if I could even make a difference. What I found was a community. People started sharing their own stories, asking questions, and showing a genuine desire to learn. My social media became a place that was more just to post. It became a place of connection and education where we could build awareness together, one post at a time. And what I realized is that awareness is very powerful. Every time someone hears Charcot-Marie teeth disease for the first time, we've made progress. Every time the conversation happens at the dinner table, in the classroom, or at the workplace about what CMT is or why the research matters, we've moved our mission forward. I'm fortunate to work for a company, USLI, that believes deeply in giving back to their community. Through their foundation called the Care Squared Fund, my coworkers and I can support causes that matter to us most. I decided to jump out of my comfort zone and approach my team and tell them about what I go through on a daily struggle and the incredible research that the CMT Research Foundation is funding and about the hope that their work provides. I explained that each of us had the opportunity to donate from their foundation to the cause that we care about most. This meant that every time I shared my story and spoke about the impact of CMT in my life, my colleagues could join me in supporting this fight. They listened and they responded with incredible generosity. Talking about my disease with others, especially my work peers, has been a transformative experience. It's allowed me to open up in ways I never thought possible, fostering a deeper sense of connection and support. This openness has not only eased my burden, but has also strengthened my relationship at work, which is huge. But this isn't my story alone. This is our story. It's a story of every person who shares that post, donates $1, or tells a friend about CMT. It's a story about the scientists that are working tirelessly in labs for us and the families who are living with CMT every single day. It's a story of turning isolation into connection, fear into hope, and research into real possibilities for treatment. And when I think about it, I picture the next generation. I imagine my own children not growing up without the daily struggles that we all know. I imagine parents who don't have to worry about the weight of their children's future. That vision is what keeps me motivated, and I know what drives so many of you too. Every dollar we raise, every post we share, and every conversation we have is a step closer to without a world with CMT. We are not just raising money, we are raising hope. We are building a bridge between today's challenges and tomorrow's solutions. So here's where I want to leave you with a call of action. We all have circles of influence, whether it's family, friends, or companies we work for. Many companies offer donation matching programs or have foundations like mine that want to give back to the causes their employees care about. I encourage you to reach out to your HR department or your community team and ask if they're willing to support the CMT Research Foundation. You may be surprised that your workplace is ready and willing to double the impact of your gift. And remember, sometimes the most powerful action we can take is simply asking that question. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. But when you do ask, whether it's the company that you work for to match your donation, asking a friend just to learn about CMT, or even having a family member join you at an event like my husband did tonight, you are opening the door to change. Together, we can not only raise awareness, but also unlock the resources that are already out there waiting to be directed towards life-changing research. Imagine the difference we can all make if every single person in this room takes that one extra step and asks that one extra question. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight and being a part of this movement. Your commitment inspires me every single day, and I truly believe that when we leave this room, each of us carries the power to multiply our impact far beyond than what anyone could do alone. Let's keep pushing together until the day we no longer have to fight CMT. Thank you.
Jodi, that was so great. Thank you so much. All right, next we have a video from Ann Fairchild, CMTRF board member, ambassador, and CMT patient. In just the couple of years of knowing Ann, I have been deeply impressed not only by her openness in sharing her personal story with her community, but also by her unwavering dedication to the future of our community. Ann offers up her expertise and her story because she understands that momentum and focus is what is going to get us to a future with treatments. And here's Ann's story.
Hello, and welcome to the 2025 Global CMT Research Convention. Whether you are a patient, a family member, or an advocate, thank you for being here today. Today, I'd like to share something deeply personal. my own journey with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. CMT is a part of my story, my family story, and it's the reason I've committed myself to turning awareness into action. Living with CMT has presented its challenges, navigating symptoms like muscle weakness, balance issues, and fatigue, and the occasional injury and surgery. There have been moments of frustration and moments of fear, but also moments of deep clarity. My father lived with CMT. I saw his quiet strength and the way he adapted over the years with grace. He was a role model. Years later, my youngest daughter was also diagnosed, and that moment changed everything. I knew that she and I would face this journey together. CMT isn't just mine, it's woven into my family across 3 generations, and hopefully this will be the last generation. It's a thread that connects us, but it doesn't define us. And yes, there is emotional weight in addition to the physical challenges, but I choose to carry that weight with hope and determination, because every challenge has taught me something about resilience. I built a career as a lawyer, an executive, and a leader. And while CMT has shaped me, it has never defined or limited what I can do. There were many times when I had to adjust, whether it was navigating long days with physical discomfort or finding new ways to lead with energy and empathy. But I've learned that perseverance isn't just about pushing through, it's about adapting, growing, and showing up, especially when it's hard. To anyone living with CMT, I want to say your dreams are still possible. Your diagnosis doesn't close doors, it just changes how you walk through them. There came a moment when I realized I couldn't just live with CMT, I had to do something about it. And it started a few years ago in this very room where you sit today. My youngest daughter and I attended this conference in person, and we both volunteered to become CMT ambassadors. When I saw my teenage daughter's willingness to step up and share her story publicly about CMT, I knew I just couldn't let her do it alone. I chose at that point in time to share my own story and step into a new role as an advocate. And it wasn't easy, but I'm glad I made that choice. I began raising awareness, supporting research, and connecting with others in the CMT community. And every story we share, every dollar raised, every connection made, it all brings us closer to treatments, to breakthroughs, and to hope. Hope that one day there will be treatments and a cure for this disease. Action creates momentum, and momentum changes lives. To the entire CMT community, patients, families, researchers, advocates, thank you. Your strength, your stories, and your support matter more than you know. Let's keep pushing forward. Let's turn awareness into breakthroughs. Let's fight for treatments. Let's fight for cures. And let's fight for each other. CMT may be a part of my family's story, but it will not be the ending. Together, we're writing a new chapter, one of resilience, progress, and hope. Thank you all for your support.
Up next, we have Anushka Noori. I first met Anushka here 3 years ago at our second Global CMT Research Convention. I was quickly impressed by how prepared and well-spoken she was about her condition and her vision to make meaningful change for her community. She signed up to become a CMTRF ambassador and immediately started bringing fresh, transformative ideas to the program. Her ambition is undeniable, and I know that you will feel it today as she speaks. And hopefully it will inspire you the way it inspires me. Anushka Noori, everybody. The next person, please. This one? Yep. If you're ready for it.
Yes. Thank you, Chelsea, and good afternoon. My name is Anushka Noori, and I am a senior in high school. For the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of serving as an ambassador for CMTRF and working alongside the other incredible ambassadors you see on stage with me. Since spring of this year, I have spearheaded the planning and organization of this afternoon's fundraiser, the Boston 0K. But before I share what makes the 0K so special, I want to ask you to take a moment to imagine a world without CMT. What does that world look like? What would you be able to do or see others do that they might not be able to do today? For some, it might mean running a marathon or standing comfortably for long periods of time or tying a shoelace without difficulty. For others, it might mean never having to answer the question, what is CMT? That picture, that image you have in your head, is what today's 0K is all about. This summer, while reaching out to businesses in Boston and across the country, the most common question I received was, what is a 0K? Here's the answer I gave. The 0K is an event for people of all abilities, including those who cannot participate in traditional runs. With all the spirit of a 5K, but none of the distance, it raises critical funds for advancing research and treatment for CMT. That answer is true. But here's the deeper truth. The 0K is not a race measured in steps or miles. It is measured in progress, in clinical trials, new treatments, and the milestones we achieve together. The real race is the race to end CMT. And in that race, we are all winners. The second question I was asked this summer was harder. What is CMT? When I hear that question, I picture a child on a playground or in a classroom being asked the same thing by a peer or a teacher and not knowing how to respond. I picture a family in a restaurant explaining for the 10th time what those 3 letters might mean. Yes, one answer is that CMT is a degenerative nerve condition affecting over 3 million people globally. But that definition doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't capture the everyday struggles, like not being able to run, or stand for too long, or tie your shoes. It doesn't speak to the emotional weight of those challenges. This is why awareness matters. My goal in organizing the Boston 0K is to create a world where no child has to stumble over that question. A world where teachers, classmates, friends, and neighbors already know what CMT is. A world where CMT may remain rare as a diagnosis, but it is never rare in thought. The 0K this afternoon is going to be held at 4:15 p.m. I invite you all to gather with us once again to imagine a world without CMT. The race itself will be short. We'll stand up, sit down, and it will be over. But that will only be a small part of the evening's program. Together, we'll be treated to music from the Harvard Steel Pan Ensemble and the internationally renowned Harvard Gin and Tonics. We'll enjoy food, capture moments in a photo booth, and participate in our silent auction, with many items generously donated by the same businesses that first asked me, what is CMT? Their support and your presence this afternoon is what makes the 0K possible. And at this race, every participant will receive a medal, not for finishing first, but for choosing to stand up and race against CMT. My hope is that the Boston 0K will inspire others to bring advocacy work into their own communities, growing awareness, action, and impact. Thank you for being a part of this mission, for standing with us, and for helping turn awareness into action. After the convention's closing remarks, our volunteers will be outside these doors holding 0K signs to guide groups down to the event, so please keep an eye out for them. I look forward to seeing you all this afternoon as, together, we take one more step toward imagining and building a future without CMT. Thank you.
I want to sincerely thank today's speakers once again for taking the time to travel here and share their stories with us. Their courage, vulnerability, and dedication are truly inspiring, and I hope their tenacity empowers each of you to confidently share your own story. Every voice matters in building momentum for change, and yours can make a difference. When you are ready to share, please reach out to me. It would be an honor to hear your story and support you on your journey of sharing it so that you too can speak up for CMT. I was going to take time to open the floor for questions, but I do know that we are trying to adapt a little with our schedule. My ambassadors are openly available for you to approach them. Please ask them questions. They will be here for the remainder of the day. If anyone wants to get in contact with them, even outside of today, please just reach out to me, and I know that they would be more than happy to talk with you. Before we wrap up, I'd like to take just a few minutes to share something that's very close to our mission, the CMTRF Ambassador Program. This program is all about empowering people like you, patients, family members, friends, to use your voice and your connections to accelerate research for CMT. Ambassadors help raise awareness, they share their resources, and spark new fundraising efforts in their own communities, as you have heard personally from our participants here today. Volunteering through the Ambassador Program is more than just giving your time. It's about creating that ripple effect that can touch countless lives. Every conversation you start, every event you organize, and every person you inspire becomes a part of a larger movement that pushes research forward. Your voice is a powerful tool for change, and together we turn awareness into action. It's also an investment in hope and in the future of our community. It's a way to take the energy that we feel in moments like today's session and turn it into lasting momentum for treatments. And the best part is, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a big platform to make a real impact. Every effort that you put in brings us closer to a world with treatments for CMT. And you guys can tell it's getting late in the day. My voice is wanting to cancel out on me, so bear with me. I would now like to acknowledge the ambassadors that have truly impacted the mission of the CMTRF this year. These individuals have gone above and beyond to support the CMTRF with fundraising and advocacy, and overall have contributed to appreciable changes for our CMT community. They embody the spirit of leadership and advocacy. Through their dedication and initiative, they are making a meaningful impact on our mission to accelerate research for CMT. Amazing advocate. These are the amazing ambassadors who shared their stories and images with us this year to help promote campaigns for the CMTRF. By telling their stories, these ambassadors help to increase the presence and understanding of the various forms of CMT. João Cardosa, from Portuguese table tennis champion to CMT dad, João's story about his symptom progression paints a realistic picture of life with CMT. Tara Hake, a mother of 3 sons with CMT and a CMT patient herself. I'm trying to find Tara quickly if I can. She's also out here too, so feel free to grab her. But I've never seen Tara give up, never, and especially when that comes to advocating for her boys. Monica Thomas's intentionality makes her an amazing, eloquent storyteller and advocate for impactful change. Jodi Balog. I knew there were 2. If you didn't catch Jodi's story earlier this year when it was shared, then I'm glad that you were able to hear her speak today. Kayleen Nelson, a mother to a son with CMT 2D and a 2D patient herself, Kayleen gladly shared her story and the struggle it is living with a rare disease. Jillian Cabernell. Jillian's ability to put into words, pictures, and videos the experience and emotions of living with a rare disease has inspired others to share their experiences as well. We have our Impact Heroes, which is an award that is given to those ambassadors whose passion for change is demonstrated in their willingness and enthusiasm to fundraise. Fundraising is no easy feat. It takes vulnerability to share your story, confidence to know what is needed for your future, and then the courage to ask for help getting it. Our Impact Heroes have worked hard this year, and they've each individually raised over $1,000 for CMT research. Lauren Fairchild. If Lauren's name sounds familiar, it's because she is the daughter of Ann Fairchild, whose video you saw earlier. Lauren's not let her bustling and busy life keep her from working towards what she is passionate about, which is raising funds for CMT. Joe Hogan and Jodi Balog. You just heard both their stories. And for those that are in the room today, I highly suggest you cross paths with both of them. Their own humility might try to underplay the impact that they have made, but they are certainly champions for CMT fundraising. Trailblazer Award. You may have seen the bears that are out in the lobby or noticed the brake slides that have mentioned them, but the CMTRF spearheaded an initiative that encourages fundraising while providing support, comfort, and hope for children living with CMT. I have been fortunate enough not only to witness the volunteerism that helped this program succeed, but to hear firsthand from pediatric patients who are uplifted by its initiative. Alicia Barker. I connected with Alicia not even a year ago, but the enthusiasm she shows to help with every ambassador project makes me feel like she has been doing this for her whole life. And then I have the Mulrooney daughters. You've seen their wonderful smiling faces today as well. Daughters of Jay Mulrooney, who hosts the annual sale for CMT. These young ladies' energy and tenacity are just downright infectious. We have Champion of Change. Our champions of change know that the treatments for CMT are simply not possible without a push from the patient community. These individuals have taken on the tremendous challenge this year to host their own fundraising events, and in such unique ways too. They have pushed past their network of friends and families and truly introduced CMTRF to their larger communities, and some amazing new connections have been made because of it. Jay Mulrooney, father of those wonderful Mulrooney daughters, host of the annual Sale for CMT event in Newport, Rhode Island. Jay has not let the busyness of his life stop him from making lasting momentum for research. Gary Berg, you might have remembered seeing his video with his family and how wonderful and cute they all are at the very beginning. So it's another wonderful family that sees the vision for the future of CMT treatments and works tirelessly to support the research that will get us there. Last year, Gary gave birth to the concept of a CMT 0K, and as you have seen and heard, it's inspired others to bring the event back to their communities. And lastly, our Ambassador of the Year. This ambassador has gone above and beyond in supporting the CMTRF through impactful fundraising and powerful advocacy. They understand our vision and are not afraid to move quickly to support the CMTRF at the pace that we are going. She has brought passion, creativity, and heart to all of her efforts, showing us how one person's commitment can spark change for many. It's my pleasure to announce that this year's Ambassador of the Year is Anushka Noori. Anushka, it's my honor to present this award to you. Your tireless advocacy has truly made a difference for our community. You inspire others not just to support the cause, but to believe in the possibility of change, as you heard when she spoke. I look forward to continuing the work that we do together as we move closer to achieving a world with treatments for CMT. And I hope that all of you guys are able to join her at her event right after this. All right, please join me in celebrating these incredible volunteers and the impact that they have made in advancing research towards treatments and a cure for CMT. As I quickly try to close today's session, because I know I'm over, I want to thank each of you for showing up, asking questions, and sharing in this important conversation. Together, we're building more than awareness. We're building a movement for change. When you join the Ambassador Program, you get unique experiences to share what you've learned about CMT, the chance to connect with our science community, and a platform to share your own CMT journey with us. The need for action is now. By joining the ambassadors today, you can turn the inspiration from this session into lasting impact for CMT research. The sooner we connect, the sooner we build momentum toward treatments and a cure. Every voice makes a difference, so help us Speak up for CMT and start turning awareness into action today. Thank you.